Here's a few things I've learned at the age of 54 that I wish I learned a hell of a lot sooner.
That a guy was going to look after 100% of your bills, because what I was told was that I need to get the degree, I need to make all the money, and I need to be the independent woman.
Hello, my people, and welcome back again to another interesting video. You all remember, I think a few weeks ago, we talked about this 50-50 relationship. There was a trend on TikTok that couples were pranking their partner, which is the women were pranking their husband, and they were like, I'm not going to pay the mortgage this month. So that was revealing relationships that were, doing 50-50. I'm going to link the video down in the description box. Anyways, there was this particular lady that came to talk about our own, 50-50 relationship. She said she watched the trend on TikTok, and she's shocked because she feels like she's the only one that actually goes 100 in a relationship, because she's seen couples that they are pranking their husband that I cannot pay the mortgage. And the man will be like, what do you mean mortgage? Do you even know when the mortgage will be due? Do you even know how much I pay every month? Anyways, she was making a video, or she made a video telling us that she's one that pays the bill, her partner doesn't, and all of that. Anyways, before we go straight to that video, I saw a 54-year-old woman giving advice. You all, she looks so good. Let me read this clip for you all to watch, and I'll be back.
Here's a few things I've learned at the age of 54 that I wish I learned a hell of a lot sooner. So, for anyone younger than me, please pay attention. If he's intimidated by your goals or by your success, that's a him problem, not a you problem. Don't mistake comfort for happiness. You deserve more than just good enough. Stop forgiving the same mistake over and over. That's not unconditional love, that's enabling. Be willing to accept and date who he is today, not who you hope he will become, because you're not his mentor, his mother, or his miracle. Stop dating his potential. Leaving is not failure. It's proof that you finally realized your worth. And I know it hurts, but sometimes you have to break your own heart to heal your soul. When you truly know your worth, you will stop giving discounts to people who cannot afford you. And I don't just mean monetarily. Every single time that you settle, you're sending a message to yourself that says, this is all I'm worth. Stop that. If he makes you question your value ever, he's not the one. Stop romanticizing struggle. Real love does not make you suffer, it makes you better. It's never too late for real love. Someone is out there waiting for exactly what you bring to the table. Your quirky sense of humor, your unique sense of style, your willingness and desire to nurture. Just remember, your job is not to find that love. Your job is to show up and be authentically you, and that love will find you. You're not hard to love. You just haven't met the one who's ready to love you yet. Hope that helps.
I personally love listening to older women when they give advice. I love the videos whereby they ask them, especially women that are in their 50s, 70s, they ask them, like, if you could go back to your 30s or go back to your 20s, what are the things you would do right? Or what are your regrets? What do you wish you did more? Or the things you did less? What are things you put more energy? I love listening to those videos and seeing them saying all these things. You realize that if you really pay attention and kind of follow their advice, you will see that that's just the best, because most of them will tell you, oh, I wish I never got married. I wish I never, put or center myself around men. I wish I started to century men earlier. I wish I never had kids. They tend to tell you things that later on, even you yourself, you might regret later. Anyways, let's move to today's video. This woman that was saying that is she a fool for paying 100% over expense? even though she was in a relationship with a guy. To refresh our memory, I'm going to play the first part of the video because she kind of make an update. So we are here because of the updates, because she's asking a very important question that I want us to discuss in today's video. She's asking that, is it only her that feels like she needs to make a lot of money? She needs to, you know, have a good education. She needs to have a lot of businesses. She needs to be doing well for herself as a woman before she can be in a relationship, because that's what she thought, she that's what they taught her to do. That's what her mom told her, that you need to have money as a woman so that you're not going to depend on any man. So she's now shocked that that is what I did. I made money, I'm not depending on any man, and I'm, paying the bills, because of course I make more than him. So I have to pay the bills because that is the normal thing. So she's shocked seeing that. So there are men that can actually pay 100% of the bills for women and they still have money. So she's asking, is it that you have to make money as a woman and still look for a man that will pay you 100%, or you don't make money, just sit down and wait for a man to pay you 100%? Anyway, let me roll the clip for you all to watch and we'll talk about it.
I feel like I'm about to embarrass myself with this trend, but are none of the other girlies paying 100% of their partner's expenses? Am I the only fool out here on the internet? Let me know. So when we moved in together, the rent agreement was 70% from me because I earn more money and 30% from him. So that's how it first started, with the view that one day it would change. It never changed. And then when we moved in together, the first grocery shop, I just went and filled the house with everything. I just assumed he would chip in. I didn't want to hassle him about it because, like, I'm not that kind of person. I'm just like, if you want to pay, great, like, whatever. And then over time, over like probably the first 6 months, I would do the entire grocery shop. So like I go and plan all the meals, I go to the grocery store, I pick up the food, I pay for the food, I bring the food home, I unpack the food, I make all of the meals, make him like a gourmet dinner every night. He sits down to eat it. He gets up from the table, doesn't take his plate to the sink, just gets up from the table and then walks off. And then I clean up after I've paid and cooked and done all the things. And then all the bills were in my name. So like electricity, Wi-Fi, water, everything is in my name. And so I just started paying all them and not expecting him to chip in. I would just send him the email going, hey, electricity is due. I would just flick the bill onto him, just assuming he would just reimburse me like, I don't know, 50% of the electricity, but he did not. And then eventually we would get into arguments about all these things. So like after I fed this man for 6 months and he didn't literally contribute anything, not even like a roll of toilet paper to the house, I was like getting, mad and being like, you have to contribute, at least pay me half of the groceries. And he went to the cupboard and to the fridge and like pointed out all the things. He's like, I'm not going to use the flour. Why should I have to pay for 50% of the groceries? And then with the bills, he's like, you can't email me the bills. I don't check my emails every day. And so then I would text him the bills. And he's like, I'm busy at work. I won't tell you what he does for a living, but he's not busy. And then he was like, you can't just text me the bill. You need to print the bill out and stick it on the fridge. I don't have a printer at home. So then I was driving to a shop to print the fucking bill out, stuck it to the fridge, and then we would argue about that bill for dead set 2 weeks. Like he wouldn't pay it, so then I would end up putting it under his keys. I would put it in his like mailbox, a lunchbox and stuff like that. And that would happen every bill. I mean, not every bill because I couldn't be bothered going through that with every bill, but like quarterly with the electricity bill, I was like, no, you have to chip in for electricity. Like you're a 40-year-old man, you have to pay for your own electricity. And then you all are out there pranking your husband and he's laughing at you about paying 50-50, or like not paying the mortgage that month. I'm an idiot. I recently went viral on here for revealing that I'm dating the world's shadiest man, was dating. So I wanted to jump on here and address some of your concerns because the girlies were not having it. I also want to start a broader conversation around, when did you all get the memo that a guy was going to look after 100% of your bills? Because what I was told was that I need to get the degree, I need to make all the money, and I need to be the independent woman. And I want to have a conversation around this, and I feel like I'm about to get trolled for what I'm about to say. But I feel like feminism has done us dirty with all this, because I feel like I did all the steps and now I'm left dating men like that. So let's dive into it. So a lot of people are asking, how could I fall for someone like that in the first place? Let me tell you, the manipulation that that man gave me was FBI level manipulation for the first 6 months that we were dating. So we were dating for 6 months before we moved in together. When I tell you, he was the greatest, loveliest, most charming, most intelligent, most beautiful human being I've ever met in my entire life during that dating phase. And then the day that we moved in together, he revealed who he actually was. And let me explain to you the black and white nature of him dropping the facade of the manipulation. So on our last day of moving out of our houses, so he came around and packed my house. I was like overwhelmed and, couldn't pack it all. And he basically stood and packed my house whilst I stood and watched. He made it fun and funny. We had the best time. We packed our stuff into the cars. When we arrived at the new home that we were moving into, so officially becoming an official couple, he unpacked the couch, sat on the couch, got his phone out, and then just scrolled on his phone. And I was like, oh, maybe he's doing work or something. And eventually I was like, hey, are you going to help unpack boxes? And he just looked at me and was like, don't know how. And then that was the first day that I met the real him. So everything up until that point had been a lie, a absolute covert narcissism, covert manipulation, all absolute fake, false, all try to win me over. And then the day that he had officially won me over was the day that he was like, weaponizing incompetence. I'm going to show you who I really am. Now that you're officially mine, I'm going to sit back and do the absolute least. And that's what he did. And then a lot of you asked, how could you stay with someone like that? Well, again, whenever things got bad and I was eventually like, you need to get out of my house, he would turn back to the guy that he was in the dating phase. So he would go back to just being so lovely, so generous, so charming. We'd be back in love and I'd be thinking, oh my God, he is really the man of my dreams. He was just having a bad period. And then once I was, back into allowing him to stay in the house, he would immediately revert back to the actual real him. So this manipulation was just so hardcore, and obviously by then I was attached, so I'm invested. I want it to work, I thought this was going to be the man of my dreams, so I really wanted it to work. So I was willing to suffer through and hope that one day he was just going to be the good guy all along. And when I tell you the level of good guy that he is, to this day some of my friends are still like, shame it didn't work out with him. He's such a lovely human being. And then a lot of you were concerned about whether he's still living with me. No, I eventually maneuvered him out of the house, but he is malevolent. So you can't just kick someone like that out or order them out, because they will burn the house down on their way out. So that had to be very gently managed. Again, a huge, situation with narcissists, because that's how they operate. So thanks for all your concern, girlies. I appreciate everyone reaching out and sharing stories. And unfortunately, he has ruined all men for me. I will never again believe that I'm not being hardcore manipulated. And I also want to have a broader discussion around, how did you all get the memo that the men are going to look after you? Because again, this is not what I was told. I was told that you go and get a good degree. I'm an engineer. I was told that you earn your own money. So I went and built 3 globally successful businesses, and I'm now set up in a way to have an entire family and household and everything that I want all by myself. When did you all get told that that's not how it works? I'm being genuinely serious here. How did you know that a man would just look after you? Because that's not what I was told. And I feel like the whole feminism movement, again, don't hate me for this, feminist, but I just feel like the feminism movement has done us dirty, because now there are women out there like me. I know a bunch of them who are so self-sufficient, so independent, can afford everything. I have luxury travel all around the world, all by myself. I can pay for my own house, pay for everything. And as a result, I don't get that provider man, because I feel like the provider man goes after a certain type of woman, and I'm not that woman. So what happened? What went wrong? What's the better option? Is the better option having a chill life and having a man look after you, or is the better option building globally successful businesses? I don't know. I'm open to this discussion. I don't know that there's a right and wrong way. I appreciate I'm about to get trolled for this, but this is what I'm genuinely thinking about, looking at all of the comments, all of you women out there that are just being looked after by a man. And then there are thousands of women in my DMs who are not being looked after. And they're also going I can't believe this trend either. I didn't realize that there were men out there that are just providing for women. So it's been a huge divide for me. The people on the front end that are commenting saying, yes, I get looked after 100%. And then the people in the DMs that are going, yeah, I'm super triggered by this trend because that's not my lived experience. So let's discuss.
Well, for me, I feel like as a woman, even if you want to be with a man or you don't want to be with a man, you are an adult. You are an individual. You have to make your own money. With or without a man, with or without a man. Forget about man. You as a person, you as an adult, you as an individual, how can you take care of yourself? How can you feed yourself? You need to be able to take care of your basic needs. If you like luxury things, you need to be able to work so hard to be able to afford those luxury things for yourself. Okay? Then, if you're in a relationship with a man, and it doesn't mean that because you can afford those luxury things or because you're rich or you're wealthy or you're doing well for yourself, does not mean that you should not allow him to treat you right. A work of a man in a relationship is for him to provide for you, and not just financially, other aspect as well. But financially is there. He needs to provide for you. He needs to feed you. He needs to provide for you, right? So doesn't mean that you have to be the one to take care of him, pay the bills because you have the money and because you're doing well. You pay rent, you pay electricity bill, you pay water bill. Like you're literally taking care of another child in the house, which doesn't make sense because there's no point you being in a relationship with a man if you're paying all the bills for him. It's going to make the man very lazy and it's not going to make him even want to take care of you because he's going to spend his money elsewhere and he's not going to spend money on you. So, as a woman, in my own head, I feel like you should make your own money. It's very compulsory. Even if you have a wealthy man, a man that has so much money, even if I don't know, I'm trying to look at the person that has so much money. If you have someone that has so much money, it doesn't mean you should not have your own money. Have an investment. Even if I'm not saying you must do 9 to 5, have an investment. Have something you can fall back to. You're going to do that because of self-respect. Because anything can happen. That wealthy man that gives you money voluntarily, that just take care of you so much, tomorrow it might just, you know, tell you he's no longer giving you money, doesn't he's no longer interested in you, or anything can happen. So women having their own money is like a backup plan for you. Is a backup plan, something that you must have. It's a must have for a woman if you're in a relationship, and even if you're not in a relationship. I just feel like for you to be a woman, for you to be able to stand upright anywhere you are, you need to be able to afford your own basic needs. I'm not saying be wealthy, be very rich. No, you can afford your basic needs. You're not going out. Some people, if they cannot call a man to for their hair or to eat or something, they won't eat. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't speak well as a woman. You have to be able to make your own money, work and make your own money. So with or without a man, you are good. And that gives you that self-respect. And there was something somebody said in the comment section in the video was saying that one of the reasons why she was able to leave that relationship is because she has her own money. And that's true. If she didn't have her money and it was the guy that was, doing all of that, or she didn't have enough money to leave, she's not going to leave. Most women are stuck in a relationship because they don't have their own money. They don't have a good income, and most of them already have kids that they cannot take care of without their partner. So you need to have your money even if you want to be relationship with him, especially if you're in a relationship with a man. You need to have your money. I'm not saying you must flaunt your money and let him know that yes, you have the money. You know that you have your money and you have it as a backup plan. It helps women in different ways. And for me, it gives you that self respect. And, it just makes sense in a lot of ways. Anyways, what is your take on today's conversation? Kindly share your thoughts down in the comment section respectfully. It's your girl, Mara David. And thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.